and welcome to Leadership Series sponsored by CIMA. Today we have another very eminent personality. Please welcome the Chief Financial Officer of the London Stock Exchange, Sri Lanka, Mr. Fadil Jeffrey. Hello Mr. Fadil, how are you doing?
Very good, thanks Amantha.
First of all, could you tell us a little bit about your career and your inspiration behind it? Like what made you want to pursue your career?
Okay, so to be honest, I never imagined of going down the accountancy field when I started my career. I started differently, but throughout the career, I realized that my passion was in accountancy. When I say accountancy, not just the typical accountancy of the traditional world, but more in terms of business management. And it's through CIMA and through the various connections I got through CIMA that I found people that were inspiring and people that were kind of relatable, and that's how I kind of pursued throughout the journey of being in the accountancy field, as I call it here.
So could you tell us a little bit about the journey of CIMA and how you got in touch with this whole institute?
Okay, so if you take CIMA, my kind of relationship started all the way back in soon after A-levels, right? I started CIMA more from a experience perspective as opposed to, like I said, trying to be an accountant. But through that, I got involved with various student society activities, both at the institute that I was at that point, and then later on moving towards the CIMA, the Sri Lanka divisional activities. So through that, a lot of activities, a lot of engagement, and I was the student society president in 2003 and 4. That's when I really got a taste of what this big organization is. And of course, throughout that journey since then, as a member after that, I have been involved with a lot of activities, various subcommittees. And now, in the current position, I'm quite honored to be as the chairman of the CIMA Country Network Committee. Parallelly, across all of this, I was also a lecturer for CIMA. So I've kind of seen CIMA through various stages, as a student first, then through student body, as a lecturer, and then in terms of membership as a member from the outside, as well as now as a member from the inside, trying to kind of develop the entire membership community. So it's been an exciting journey.
So let's talk a little bit about financial management. Could you speak about the importance of financial management?
So financial management is critical, be it from an organization perspective or from an individual perspective, right? It's about how you manage your finances. If it's organization, it's much bigger. If it's individual, you can break it down to smaller components. But it's about how you sustain yourself, manage your finances, be resilient, be able to kind of cash in when the times are good, but also stay strong when the times are bad. Right.
So what is the role of the management accountancy sector for Sri Lanka when stepping into a world of recession, especially caused by the pandemic, if you...
Right. So in times of crisis or in times of economic downturns, there are specific things that organizations will need to look for, particularly if you talk about cash flow management, liquidity management, cost control, risk management, and also building strong relationships with stakeholders and customers and suppliers. These are key things that a management accountant can actually intervene and add value during a period of crisis, because a management accountant is kind of unique. They see both sides of the books, if I say. They see the past from all of the history, but they also have a view of what the future looks like, right? So they're able to relate to both sides as opposed to being limited to one. And if they use that knowledge correctly, they can actually add a lot of value from an organization perspective. If you take it a step up from, let's say, a national perspective, it's more about, let's say, thought leadership, right? How can a management accountant bring in thought leadership for national agendas, right? Work with the government, the regulators, various bodies in driving specific themes or initiatives throughout the year. And that's something we are keen to do this year, if you take my committee. we may not be able to do everything, but at least we want to
Yeah.
start somewhere and then grow it from there. So there's kind of different roles that the accountancy bodies can play during crisis management.
And we see that the majority of the Sri Lankan community is unaware of metrics and indicators that monitor the economic growth. How important is that the general community knows these basic fundamentals?
Okay. So, I mean, the country economy is part of our ecosystem, right? Whether we like it or not, it's there. And we need to know it, we need to understand it. It doesn't mean that we have to be economists. None of us, I think, are economists. But it's important that we know at least the basic principle of what's happening.
Yeah.
So that we can relate it to either our organization or our individual selves, right? But when we do that, one thing we have to be careful is that, the numbers sometimes doesn't tell the true picture. Right? If you look at the number alone without knowing the underlying data, you can get misled.
Yeah.
So it's important that you know the number as well as the story behind the number.
Yeah. So the current aspiring youth who are learning management accountancy will be stepping into a world affected by global recessions. So what advice could you give to people like that?
Okay. So the youth that are coming out now will have to be agile, right?
Yeah.
They have to be able to adapt to the situation.
Situations,
And they have to be ready for change. Change in the current context is inevitable. It's part of what we would call BAU. Right, or business as usual, right? And they have to be able to, or they should not resist it, or they should accept it and move forward. And to be able to accept change, be agile, be a thought leader as well is a unique combination. Everybody can't do that, right? So the new generation, the new youth that come out, have to be able to show those traits in their day-to-day work.
So with all the socio-economic challenges associated with COVID-19, how can financial market infrastructure providers like your institution dilute the impact and ensure service consistency?
Okay. So financial market infrastructure providers have a key role to play during an economic crisis, right? They have to ensure the market is running. And there's a lot of reliance from government organizations, business leaders or businesses and regulators to ensure that the market is kept open. Right? Because once the market is open, businesses can use it, economies will thrive. If the market is closed, nothing moves.
Yeah.
Right? And in that sense, LSEG plays a key role in ensuring that it's open and it's an avenue for businesses to source capital. Right? There is a business that needs capital in various forms. You have investors on the one side. So the capital market essentially provides platform for both parties to meet and exchange. And that's what the market does. And that's why it's important during a crisis to ensure that actually happens.
Yeah.
But for that to happen as an organization, we need to be resilient as well, right? If the organization is not able to be resilient, we can't keep the market open. And to be resilient, we have to ensure our technology is resilient and our people are resilient, right? If you take technology, we have one of the best-in-class systems that are running from a stock exchange perspective, and it's developed by our own teams in Sri Lanka. So that has thrived during this crisis to the extent that it has handled, unparalleled volumes, and also been able to implement new systems during the pandemic, which has helped from a technology point. From a people point, of course, it's to ensure that we take care of our people from a well-being perspective. Working from home for let's say 1 week is very different to working from home for 1 year.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we have seen, and we had to adapt to the changes and make sure that we provide the necessary infrastructure, well-being, mental or physical, to them to be able to sustain.
Yeah.
And thankfully, if you take even today, 1 year down the line, we are still 100% working from home, but running effectively.
And thank you so much, Mr. Fadil, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week where we'll be speaking to another eminent personality. My name is Amantha Pereira, signing off.